Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome to share your slides now, and I can start with your introduction.
Okay.
So as that shares, Kalamurk Agafari Kasahun, I apologize for pronunciation, is presenting on implementing RDF and persistent identifiers to interlink institutional research outputs. She's a senior library and research team leader at Botho University, where she manages research data, academic outputs, and the institutional knowledge repository. With over 20 years of experience in library and information science, she specializes in open science and research data management. She leads research performance reporting, policy development, and publication advisory services, and supports access to external funding opportunities. Killam holds a master's degree in library and information science from the University of Botswana and Rural Development, IGNOU. She's currently pursuing a PhD in information science at the University of South Africa, focusing on data sharing frameworks for researchers in Botswana. She's presented 10 papers, published 2 articles and 1 book chapter, and is a strong advocate for open access to knowledge sharing in higher education. Thank you so much for joining us. Your slides look ready to go. I look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. My title for today is Implementing RDF and Persistent Identifier to Interlink Institutional Research Output, a scalable link data workflow for Research Performance Index. My name is Kalamurk. I'm based at Botswana, in Botswana. Botswana is in southern part of Africa, as we have seen here. I'm working at Botho University. Botho University is a private institution in Botswana. Just to give you a short abstract overview of my presentation. Academic librarians take on greater role in research visibility and performance evaluation. The integration of linked data principle has emerged as a strategic innovation. This presentation outlined a scalable workflow from interlink institutional research output using a resource description framework, RDF, persistent identifiers such as ORCD and DOI, and controlled vocabulary secured in Botho University experience and supported by Open Science Cluster for Africa and the region 2.0, which means OSCAR 2.0 project. So my presentation is going to be, I'm going to have background and motivation, objective of the project, some key concepts, and our best experience and expected outcome of the proposed workflow, anticipated challenge and emerging lessons, and at the end, I'm going to have a recommendation. Library and librarians are most moving beyond a traditional library support system and play a big role in research visibility and also involved in performance activity, research performance activity. How libraries expanding their role? What is the motive behind? The first is libraries are developing and managing institutional repository to centralize research outputs, making them more visible and accessible. And librarians also play a big role and in research data management and as well as in research life cycle. And librarians and libraries are playing a good role in resource description framework, RDF, to build knowledge gap, knowledge graph, interlinking the resource with other database and creating a network of information. Though librarians play a big role, there is a challenge. What are the main challenge, especially for tracing research impact? The main challenge is tracing the research impact. The major challenge are data currently, especially in our environment, working environment, data are silos and lack of interoperability and incomplete acknowledgement, mostly researcher, as there is a challenge of proper authorship. When researchers are coming to our department, they are mismatching the authorship. For instance, if they are co-authors, sometimes the first author will become the last author is going to be the first author. And also, there is no proper acknowledgement for the institution. So there are some challenge, one of the challenge. And as a department, the library department, we are mostly tracking the researcher performance manually. That is our major challenge. And also inability of aggregated research output by the researcher. Researcher from different departments have been doing research, but there is not specifically well articulated and where it's not well aligned how the research are integrated and showing with SDGs. As a solution, our department, we propose is a project. We propose a project. The project is supported by OSCA. And the project is mainly focused on strategic metadata, enhancing project using linked data. The main objective of this project is to apply scalable linked data workflow that enhance the research visibility and enable performance tracking through RDF and persistent identifier. This major objective is some sub-objective. The sub-objectives are introducing RDF, because RDF, though it is familiar from the librarian perspective, is not familiar with the researcher. So we have to introduce the concept of RDF and persistent identifier, such as ORCD, or ID number, what is DOI, and other persistent identifier, and in institutional research ecosystem. And also Interlink researcher profile. We have to redesign the research profile in such a way which can be in a semantic way. And also the third objective is enable automated performance metrics through Interlink research outputs. Yes, our department our department is also work as a research department. So when we are generating research performance, we are not supposed to be biased or make human error. To avoid those human error, we are going to be designing an automated research performance matrix. And at the end, we have to share with our best experience by developing a module. This model is going to be used for research performance index in all academic institution or non-academic institution, to design the research performance index, which is interlinked and well-rounded research performance index. As a key concept, because there are some key concepts I would like to be elaborate. When we say resource description framework, or RDF, is a structure that enable encoding and reuse of structured metadata. RDF is a standard, is developed by the World Wide Web, a standard for structuring data so that data can be understood by machine and link across different platform and reuse in different contexts. It represents the data as a triple. Certain data is a triple. And when we say this a triple way of expressing a certain data, or as an entity, it has a subject, for instance, a publication, it has a title, And a predict is a property or relationship, how certain article or a publication has been interrelated. For instance, a publisher or who is sponsoring that certain article. Or object, how certain article or certain research output is interrelated, which means related entity or value. Who is the creator? And also even the creator, we have to be interlinked with other different link data. So for example, an article, it has its own DOI, and a creator is, for instance, Mr. John or Dr. John, it has supposed to be ORCD ID number. The same in a key concept, when we say persistent identifier, are a unique code that identify entity like a researcher or a research output, publication, or data set, or anything which is produced by the researcher. And this persistent identifier, they are also designed to be persistent, to be unique, meaning they have to be remain stable and resolvable, even if the location of the source is changed. An example, let me say an example, including ORCD ID number for the researcher and for a DOI link for certain publication, and also for the data sets, or also for the publisher or for the organization. Why or what is a data link? The concept of data link is a set of design principle, is a principle for sharing machine readable data, like DIO as a unique or URL address of specific publisher. And also it has a principle to be this data link, it has major principle. It has to be accessible via HTTP, and also it has to be return structure in a metadata, and it has also, it's supposed to have a link to the author or to the subject. What is our case in case of Botu University? What are you doing? What is our plan to implement a data link to our system? As a part of OSCAR project, the university secured certain funding to upgrade the institutional repository, supporting the transformation to the machine-readable interoperable system. The project is aligned with the OSCAR project mission to promote inclusive and transparent research ecosystem by enabling open data management and exchange interlinked research outputs and institutional accountability. The project, we mostly focus on the ORCD integration, how we are going to be integrate the ORCD into our system. And also we are going to be focused, the project is going to be focused on RDF, how we are going to be implement our RDF structure in the institutional repository. Yes, the library played a big role as a professional. We are playing a big role in restructuring and redefining the metadata. And also we have to start, we are also starting revamping the institutional repository by properly aligning the DOI assignment for start research output, which are published since 2023 up to 2024, because it is difficult for us. We have also a manpower problem. So we start from, though the institutional repository start working since 2020, so we start redefining the research outputs starting from 2023 up to 2024. And then the revamping process is not yet started, but the precondition are we are starting the redefining our resources. What is our plan? Just let me give you as an example how we are going to be the institutional repository, how it's going to be look like. For instance, one research publication is titled by this one, an evolution of institutional repository development in African university. We assume that this research output is produced by one of our both university staff. How we are going to be recorded or uploaded in institutional repository, where it has to be shown the title. The title is supposed to be attached, is interlinked with DIO. It's on DIO. The author also the author is supposed to have, it's mandatory to have the ORCD ID number, and we are going to be all the metadata structure. We are going to be restructuring the metadata of the institutional repository based on this structure. It's going to be like this one. We have to have article. The article is when our in data link, we are going to be is this one. We split into different RDF structure, and even we are going to, even the publisher, or if it is a co-author, we have to also align the co-author institution. So we are going to have a more detailed metadata structure for our institutional repository. The proposed workflow, we are going to have a workflow. The first step is create awareness, because we as an institution, or as a department of library, we are facilitators, we are not the owners. So we have to create awareness to the research community by developing different training framework. We have to have create awareness to the researcher. And after we create awareness, we have already started training on how to create this ID number, and also how to create open Google Scholar account, and then the second stage is researcher. They have to register their own ORCD ID number, and also they have to design their own Google Scholar account. And then after that, our department, we have our own quality assurance tool. We have to highlight how the quality of the research. We avoid to screen out the quality of the research. We have to check the predatory publication, whether the research is accredited or not. And after that, we have to upload the DIO. We have to describe the research output. And then we have to metadata. We have to create the metadata of that specific research output. And that research output, it has to be uploaded in institutional repository. And our research performance, we are using our own home-driven platform. We have to interlink the research performance platform with our institutional repository. Expected outcome of the proposed workflow. Yes, researchers are registered, and they're going to have their own ORC ID number, and which is linked to the publication. And the institution also enable accurate author performance index. And as an output, also enrich RDF metadata and DOI has become more machine readable and searchable across the web. And in this case, the research visibility of the institution as well as the researcher visibility is going to be more visible. And we're going to have, as highlighted here, we're going to have an automated biased-free research performance index. And our research publication also is supposed to be aligned with SDGs. And also, if we need any extra purpose-driven report. We also have a national priority-based report. We can easily generate a report. And also we can also have assess the research impact of certain impact of the research outputs by the impact citation analysis, and also Google Scholar or arithmetic, also the arithmetics of the research. And also reduce a manual effort in reporting. Mostly we are currently reporting manually. So it's going to be reduce manual reporting, and we are going to be bias-free report. And also it also increase strengthens the institutional reputation through visible validate research interlink. And as I mentioned earlier, we, at the end of this project, we are going to design a framework or a model which can be replicated and reused by other research institution or academic environment. First, we have to start with awareness creation. And researchers, they have to be on board, they have to be highly engaged in this practice. They are the owner of the research. And we have to also emphasize the quality of the research. Though quality of research is measured by different tools or as metrics, but institutions, they have to develop their own quality control mechanism, and from the librarian perspective or from the information science, from the information professional perspective, we have to emphasize RDF and how we are going to be describe certain information, how to describe the research output data, how we are going to be more emphasized in describing in a well-rounded way. And we are an institutional repository. We have to move away from the traditional institutional repository and move one step. We have to be interlink our institutional repository in data link. And at the end, yes, each and every platform, it has to have some outputs, either it is creating research institutional visibility, or either individual researcher, they have to get benefit out of their product. So at the end, they have to get, at the end, we have to able to generate the research performance index. This is our proposed data, our proposed model. And yes, we propose this, but we have, and we expect, and though we are not, the project is not fully is implemented, but the expected challenge, need of the first challenge, the need of continuous staff training. And currently we don't have standalone research departments to run this project. So we may not have a continuous staff training on create awareness. And also metadata standard. We as mentioned, standard is a basic, but we might have a challenge of creating a standardized metadata. And link data technology. Yes, we are trying to work with information technology professional to assist us to certain extent to our project, but we are anticipated some challenge. We might have some challenge. And the second problem, it might be researcher engagement and awareness is required. Yes, we have to work hard still we have to change the mind of the researcher, and especially promoting this unique ID number, to create their own unique ID number and build understanding of repository value. Yes, we have still a problem of engaging our researcher to create this the openness nature. So still this is a problem. And the success of linked data depend on consistency and high quality of metadata. I mentioned that our main challenge is we have a challenge of getting accurate information and required guideline and validation mechanism during the repository revamping process. As a conclusion, RDF is a good a persistent identifier creates scalable and interoperable research ecosystem. Academic librarians play a vital role in enabling open science, and the BU model provide a framework for replicating academic research performance. And thank you for your time. And this is all from my side.
Thank you so much. That presentation, I feel, is so timely. So many of us are working to find those workflows, and I really appreciated the way that you broke them down so folks who are more familiar with linked data or less familiar can kind of follow along. We do have a question for you in the chat. Does OSCAR 2.0 refer to this specific project and workflow, or a larger effort that this workflow contributes to? And what does OSCAR stand for, assuming it's an acronym?
The project, we got a fund from OSCAR. It's just only we are not only getting a fund, we are also get what's called a capacity building training, not focusing on the data, what's called especially the data link, but it's only for just to have a good understanding about open science, open data. So one of one of the objectives of open science is to create open infrastructure. Under the open infrastructure is institutional repository. And under institutional repository, a repository without accurate metadata, it may not have, it may not reach its objective. I think yes, I answered the question. The OSCAR 2.0 is stand for Open Science Cluster for Africa and Sub-Saharan African region. 2.0 is an European Union funded project under Erasmus.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we just had someone drop the link for us in the chat, so folks who are interested can take a look. I want to thank you again so much for your presentation today. I think that's going to be very helpful for other folks who are looking to make those same changes to their repositories to hopefully get closer to open knowledge and to get to their own research outputs. So important to folks now.
Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you.